This is the case of jasonisaacs, aka NGang. Jasonisaacs, or better known by his street name J, was a member of the Y56 Alliance. Y56 is a gang spread across the London Borough of Ealing, with the largest set being in the Northolt NGang, UB5, also known as Zone 5, and smaller sets in Greenford, UB6, and Southall, UB1. They are most active on the Medlar Farm, Radcliffe Way, Islip Minor, and West Coast Estates. Together, these form the 146 Alliance after the postcodes of Southall, UB1, Northolt, UB5, and Greenford, UB6. The leader of the Northolt or NGang, teewizz, was a very close associate, friend of J, and frequently carried out drills together. More on him later. Other notable members of the 156 Alliance consist of Absav, Mad Max, Nito NB, and others respectively. They have allies across London that consist of 12 World or 12 Anti from the Shepherd's Bush area. Their biggest artist is Central C, and recently deceased member of F. who we will cover in a future video. Their rivals are Rayners Lane, who will become important to the story later, as well as Pepper Hayes and YSG. This video is no way meant to mock the death of jasonisaacs in any way. It is meant to simply educate and bring awareness to what comes with the street life. The newspapers have said jasonisaacs wasn't an innocent person that was targeted randomly from the ongoing knife crime across UK, along with other members of the public. But that simply was not the case, which we'll find out later. Jay lived a double life and would often do crimes of his own along with his friend teewizz, which would make him a target later on. Jay also had his own set within the 156 Alliance called White Boy Trappers, where him and his friends sold drugs. He also worked a normal job, which his mother alludes to in a video we will show you later on. His friend teewizz sadly died after being chased through a West London estate with knives by members of the Rayners Lane, after allegedly robbing one of their members called T-Rose and another accomplice. The reason was that teewizz allegedly robbed T-Rose, and him being killed was retaliation to this incident. This was a huge loss to the Northolt gang as he was their leader. This loss caused a spiral of crimes due to retaliations that claimed many lives and caused terror across London as a result. If you want a separate video covering these crimes, then please comment below. We previously mentioned that Jay had caused harm to Rayners Lane members through stabbings, which had put a target on his back. However, the pictures that would ultimately seal Jay's fate were the ones where he threw gang signs on his social media, which created a bigger target. This is evidenced by his killer from Rayners Lane, who had said that he knew of Jay's actions but did not know what he looked like. Prior to Jay's attack, the killer was sent an image by a girl of Jay dissing or mocking the Rayners Lane, which upset his rivals. Now that Jay was a recognized figure, his life would be in danger and ultimately be another victim of knife crime. One of his killers would be later identified as Joe Amade, aka Jojo, from the Rayners Lane area. Jojo was on bail before this attack and was moved away from the Power of London, Ilford ways from, and was living in a care accommodation as a way to stay him away from the gang activity in the area. Jojo traveled back to the Rayners Lane area to meet with his friends to plan the attack on Jay. Jojo rided with 3 other accomplices and went on a ride out or looking for rivals to hurt or kill. Jay was walking back with his friends from a house party or outing with friends, which would have made him an easy target due to intoxication. Jojo and his friends were touring or looking for oppositions when they stumbled upon Jay and his friends. Upon realizing what was going on or about to happen, Jay's friends all scattered different directions, and it was every man for himself. And as Jay, being a target familiar to Jojo, he would be the one set upon. Jay would run for his life while being chased by 2 mopeds, to which they stopped riding and gave chase on foot. It was evident that Jay was looking for help by knocking on doors and screaming to get attention from his predicament. Ultimately, he was caught by Jojo and his friends and stabbed repeatedly. The home security picks up with Jay screaming for his life, but they kept stabbing without any mercy. Jay staggered to a stranger's home and collapsed in the garden, pleading for help as blood poured from his wounds to his arms, his legs, and back. He was stabbed a total amount of 8 times. Police later found an image of Jason downloaded onto his phone from social media, along with a video in which he rapped about his gang activity and seeing his victim's mom crying on TV. Jojo was identified after one of his friends shouted his name after they killed Jay. Upon arrest and questioning, Jojo refused to testify against the 3 other members who were present at the scene. It is alleged they were from a different gang, and this was a joint enterprise as a result. The other killers are still out, while Jojo is in prison to this day. Police later found an image of Jason downloaded onto his phone from social media. Jason himself had been caught up in 2 incidents of street violence in the months leading up to his death, both as the victim and alleged offender. Jojo was ultimately convicted of murder as a result of his actions and overwhelming evidence. Jay's mother witnessed the CCTV and had a chance to talk about the events leading up to the death of her son and what she said to him before he went.
Jason, he was a very confident child, did very well in school. He got 9 GCSEs, very polite boy. And yeah, no problems at school, went through school really well. His relationship with me was very close, I had him obviously when I was 18, so we had a really close relationship. Jason wasn't involved in any gang activity. He never went out. I'd have 20 friends in the house just to keep them safe. But Jason was one, he just used to like staying in. On the Saturday, the day that obviously Jason was killed, he worked. He was doing extra hours just to get extra money because they were saving up for another holiday. I said, "What are you doing tonight?" Because I asked him all the time, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And he said he was going to watch a new horror film called It because he liked horror films. And that was his plans. And then he gave me a kiss and said, "Love you," and off he went. Then one of his friends turned up and said, "I haven't got no money to go to the pictures." And then I think one of the boys got a phone call from one of the girls who they've grown up with, and she said, "Why don't you come round to mine? There's no one in, we're going to have a few drinks." And obviously their plans changed and they went to a party instead. 2 mopeds then appeared. And nothing was said, they just jumped off the mopeds with machetes. I was notified and it was about 10:30. I was at a friend's house having a drink, it was her birthday. My partner was at home, so he got a phone call and I got a phone call from one of Jason's friends saying, "Don't panic, but Jason's been stabbed." And I said, "Like where?" And he told me where it was, and I ran round there. Lots of people were around Jason when I got there. I could have sworn they were operating, like trying to obviously get him comfortable to put him in the ambulance. But I don't remember a lot. I just remember obviously shouting, and my mind like had a block on it. Jason's injuries were 8 stab wounds. He had 2 in the back of his leg, 4 in his back, and 2 in his upper arm. The next time I see Jason was about 9 hours later. He'd been operated on. They'd removed his spleen and his lung. And yeah, I see him I think it was about 10 hours later. in intensive care. The surgeon said Jason is paralysed from neck downwards, and then they just said to me his body's shutting down. So yeah, I think they give him a couple of hours to live, and he went about 4 hours, I think, after that. Since Jason died, obviously your life's never going to be the same again. So we went on holiday, wasn't the same. You just can't enjoy anything because he's not there, and it hasn't got any easier, to be fair. It's actually got harder. The one that was found guilty, he was caught within a couple of days. The reason being is his name was shouted on the CCTV. We had a trial not so long ago, which was for 5 weeks, and one was found guilty and one was found not guilty. And he got 20 years. 20 years is not long enough. In my eyes, it should be life, which means he never comes out. Losing Jason was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but going to court and having to listen to it and hearing what had happened to my son, he didn't show no remorse. To be fair, he laughed through a lot of it. He just thought it was a big joke. If I had 2 minutes with him, I would ask him why. And why was it my son you stabbed? What was the reason?
We want to send condolences to Jay's family and friends. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, share, and subscribe if you want to watch any future content. We also want to send a shout out to those that helped with the research and anyone else that contributed to this video. If you want to support the channel, then the link to do that is in the description. We'll have Cashapp, and if you want to send funds so that we can have better equipment and make high quality videos in the future, then it is completely up to you to help the channel grow. Thank you for watching.